Now I know there's a lot of banter going around the internet at the moment, but I've had this on my shelf for ages, Pathfinder 1st edition beginner box, and although I've really enjoyed using the pawns and the flip mat and all the goodies you get inside, I've not actually got stuck into the game at all. So apart from playing through the solo adventure that you get with it, so I'm going to create a character or two and see if we can crack off on some kind of an adventure. Now I've got a couple of character sheets printed off. They are the same ones as you get in the beginner box here, with all the little letters on showing you what things are. So we'll get stuck in. So 6 times we're going to roll 4 dice, drop the lowest and write the score down, and then we'll assign it amongst our ability scores. So now in this cut down version you can choose between dwarf, elf or human, or cleric, fighter, rogue or wizard. So I think I might go against type and play an elf wizard. So I shall distribute the scores I've rolled and get this party started. Now it gives you guidance about where is best to put your best ability scores for your class. So if you're a wizard, put your best score in intelligence and your second best in dexterity or constitution. Now we've got 3 14s, that's our best scores. So intelligence, dexterity and constitution, and we'll distribute the others to taste. And as an elf we add 2 to dexterity and intelligence and subtract 2 from constitution, and now we can work out our ability modifiers. Now when it comes to alignment, I'm thinking neutral good, perhaps, because I think this elf has studied magic so much that he's has a little bit of detachment. So I'll go with neutral good. And the elf section gives us some suggested names, so I think I'll be Varial. Cool. And if you're an elf, write down the names of these 5 elf racial traits in section C of your character sheet. We have a speed of 30 feet or 6 squares. We have low light vision, elven sleep immunity, keen senses and weapon familiarity. So our keen senses gives us +2 to our perception skill, and then we look at our class features in the wizard section. Just here we get our saves bonuses, our hit points, our attack bonus and our skill ranks, which is 2. And we get a magical item with an arcane bond, which we can use to cast any spell from our spellbook once a day. We check these boxes for our wizard character because they know those skills, and we've got 2 skill ranks, 6 hit points. We know how to use these weapons. We don't know how to use armour because we're not allowed to. And I think Varial would be a scholar of all magics, so he's going to be a universalist, and he gets the Hand of the Apprentice ability, so he can throw his melee weapon at an enemy up to 30 feet away, and we can do that 6 times a day. And from our list of first level spells that we can choose intelligence +3, so that's 6, burning hands, charm person, disguise self, featherfall, mage armour and sleep. We want a nice variety. So I'm following their helpful advice for the wizard. We've got worked out our skill ranks. We added a point to each one of these that we could until we ran out. For each skill we chose, we wrote a 1 in the ranks box and a 3 in the misc mod box. We've taken improved initiative and toughness for our feats, added 3 to our hit points because of that, and we're taking this equipment here. And as our finishing touches, we write our ability modifiers in the ability modifier boxes in section D, F, G and H, armour, weapons, class features and skills. Add our constitution modifier to our hit points, so we're up to 10. If we don't have a rank and skill listed in section D, put a 0 in the ranks box for that skill. Add strength modifier to the damage box for our weapons, which we don't need to do. Add up our skills, saving throws, initiative, melee attack, ranged attack, and armour class. So, for instance, armour plus 0 for our armour, no shield, plus 3 dex, nothing for magic, and plus 10, so that's 13 in total. So we do that for each section where we have to add things. Write your melee attack total from section G in the attack bonus for any melee weapons. So yeah, none. And we do that for the ranged as well, so we get plus 3 for our dexterity. And I think that all that Varial needs is a little helper to come along with him on his adventure. And Wizards of the Coast will buy you a free cake whenever there's an R in the month. I'm not surprised they want to change it. So we've got Varial, and we have his sidekick Dolgrin, who's a dwarf fighter, and I'm going to shuffle through my Middle-earth card game cards to see if we can find anything intriguing to give us an idea of setting and an idea of the possible adventure. Yeah, that's a couple of those still there, wherever they are. So I'm going to draw one of these. Let's see what it is. Aim on Hen. Near Lorien. Okay, the Hill of the Eye of the Men of Numenor. Well, that looks nice and high fantasy, as you'd expect from Lord of the Rings. So, some kind of city here, and a couple of hills in the background. That's kind of atmospheric and cool. So there's our... oh, there's another one of those. Those are all mixed up now. And let's draw one of these, which is Orc Raiders. So we'll be dealing with some Orc Raiders. Can this next card give us any sort of bit of plot? Night. Okay, we're finding Orc Raiders at night, so perhaps they've they could have kidnapped someone, they could have stolen something, and they're making their way, perhaps away from this city. Perhaps they raided the outskirts of this tower here, or this sort of town, city, whatever, and they're making their way back to the wilderness, perhaps, or maybe even to the sea. I'll draw another card at night, of course. Despair of the Heart. My goodness, that actually gives us quite a potent piece of plot. So we've got these cards to deal with and to conjure a story out of. And the thing about solo role-playing is it is brilliant for learning a new system. I mean, I'm not super familiar with Pathfinder, first edition, but a little encounter can make all the difference when you eventually come to run the game. And if you're wondering why I'm using first edition and not second, it's because you try finding second edition right now. It seems to have become very popular all of a sudden and is sold out in many, many places. So, Varial is awoken by a noise in the night, and he was having a troubled dream about some magical research he's doing into some kind of artifact. And he starts awake. Honestly, Dolgrin has had a few sherbets too many, and he's slumped on the table. And as Varial dashes out of his room in alarm when he hears a noise, he wakes Dolgrin, and they go to investigate what the noise could be. So we arrive at the door to our study, our part of the College of Magic, perhaps, where Varial is studying his arcane arts, and we see these orcs making off with something. We're not sure what it is, but we think it's the artifact we've been studying. They must have found out that we got it, and so they're stealing it for reasons unknown. Perhaps they've been employed to do so, but we can see these 3 orcs with 1 orc boss there, and we're going to roll some initiative. The 2 standard orcs don't have an initiative bonus, and they roll a 14. The Orc boss gets a +1. He gets a 4, that's not good. Orc boss 4. And now we will roll for our heroes. Dahlgren with his initiative. I say, rummaging through the thing. He gets a +1. So he gets a 6. Dahlgren, 6. And Varial, he gets a +7, believe it or not. Wow, 18. So Varial will be going first. So I'm going to cast Sleep. They are within 100 feet, 5, 10, 15, 20, WD. They're within 10 feet of each other, so 5 feet, 5 feet. And they have to roll a DC 14 will check, I think. Yep, they've got to do a DC 14 will save, because that's 11 plus my intelligence, which is +3. Let's do the standard orc first. His will is -1. So, yeah, -1 to this die. Trying to get a 14, he fails. He's out for a minute. The other one also fails. But the boss gets +3, so, yes. Adding 3 to this, 9, 10, 11, 12, still not enough. They are unconscious for 1 minute because I am a 1-level caster. Now, with the help of the Magic College guards, we've bundled these orcs into this strong room where we can keep them, and we need to find out quickly as they come round from their minute of being knocked out who employed them, where they are waiting to receive this magical orb which they stole, I've decided. And we are going to do a bluff check against their sense motive. So unfortunately we don't get any bonus for our charisma, but luckily they don't get any bonus for their wisdom. Now the boss gets a +0 wisdom and the other two get a -1, so, but we're going to be talking to the boss, aren't we? So let's give that a go. We are going to form our argument and try and get the information out of him. And we say, you know what, this orb could have destroyed the world. It could have destroyed your homeland and all the people you care about. So we need to know who ordered you to do this, who paid you to do this, what was the person who employed you as mercenaries to steal this object. And I'm going to roll a fate die, because I don't know if he's going to believe that or not, or how plausible it is, because he might be dealing with someone who's, you know, couldn't care less about the fate of others, and he might feel, yeah, that's the kind of dastardly thing our boss would do. Or he could think, no, the guy explained it to us very well, and he wouldn't do that kind of thing. So 4 to 6, it's in our favour. 1 to 3, it's in his favour. It's in our favour, so I'm not going to put a -5 on this. It's possibly believable, possibly reasonable, because the guy who employed them might be a bit dodgy. So this is our roll for our bluff. Wow! And this is his roll for his sense motive. One more. He is just not convinced by what we've told him, and he's refusing to give information. So we can consult with the head of our order here and ask him about who would be likely to have wanted to steal this orb that we've been studying. And he will tell us that only somebody dangerously powerful, and the orcs won't give us the information about who it is, but in the taking 10 or taking 20, given enough time, we would be able to break down one of the orcs to give us at least the location, I think. I think that's fair. And the location of the meeting where they were to hand off this artifact. So we will make haste, Varial and Dahlgren, to the rendezvous point, and maybe I think we're going to have enough time for Varial to prepare another spell. We've just got Flaming Hands left after we use Sleep, but I think we're going to prepare Disguise Self, which might come in very, very handy. And we will take some kind of fake orb, which our esteemed leader of the Magical College is able to procure, and we'll see who it is that is after this this artifact. So the orc boss arrives at the rendezvous point by the docks near the sea, and who does he meet? Well, I'm going to give my Rory story cubes a go. Always full of crazy ideas. We have a limited bestiary, but it might give us some sense of who it is. It might be a wizard, it might be some kind of monster. So let's have a roll, and see what we can come up with. So I'll put this in shadow so you can see it. We have a tortoise, parachute, identity card, some kind of maths thing, somebody asleep, fountain, a footprint, concerned face but sort of smiling face, and lightning. Can we tie this into Despair of the Heart, which we drew earlier? I'm going to have a think about this. So, looking through the Pathfinder Bestiary, the daily version, this Erinyas, some calamity has fallen this angelic warrior. Wings stained black shear the air as her merciless eyes search for a target. I'm thinking something has fallen. They are unsure of their identity. They're trying to put things together. They've sort of woken from their previous way of thinking. They're trying to understand their surroundings. They are trying to protect themselves. They're feeling vulnerable because they don't quite know who they are, and they're looking for power to regain their real knowledge of the kind of creature they are. Yeah. Now, the orcs unwittingly were employed by this powerful creature, and this orc, inverted commas, has turned up with an orb which has been created by the head of the magical order, and they are going to hand off this orb to this creature. But I think with our we're going to need to make a roll here, and we get a plus, what was it, 10? A plus 10 bonus to our roll, and I'm afraid that's all we get. So 18, 28. That's good. And now they're going to get a save. They get to make a will save, and they add plus 7. And luckily, we get away with it. We hand off the orb, and we retreat. Whatever they were paid, we're not going to worry about that. We make our way away from them, because now we've found out what we needed to know. And as they make their exit with this orb, we after our 10 minutes are up, we resume our former shape and we take this information back to the College of Magic and see what the leader of the Universalist College wants to do about that.